welcome back to my channel, and if you're new here, welcome to Everything Aish. This is literally a 10-step makeup guide for beginners. So yeah, if you want to see how I got from this to this, be sure to keep watching. Okay, so the first thing I'm gonna do is my eyebrows. Yes, I don't do my eyebrows on camera, but I'm literally gonna start with just drawing a line underneath like this along the bottom. So you're gonna literally just draw a line underneath, go back with the pencil and go on this section of the top. So I like to fill out this section of the top first. I like to get the arch and just pull it down. So I sort out the end bit first. Then I fill in a bit in the middle, but I don't fill in all the way at the front. Avoid it because it will make your eyebrows look really blocky. So if you want that natural fade effect, don't fill in too much from the bottom. So that's one eyebrow penciled in. I'm gonna do the other eyebrow and then I am going to come back. Okay, so I've penciled the other eyebrow in. Another thing I do is once I've penciled it in, I just get my spoolie and literally just brush the product into your eyebrows so that it's like more of an even distribution, because what you don't want is it patchy, dark in one section, light in another, won't look good. What I'm gonna get is I'm gonna get a concealer and I'm gonna get like an eyebrow brush. It's angled. Tips for concealers. Okay, always make sure it's lighter than your foundation shade, especially for the bottom, because you want that carved out effect of your eyebrows. You're gonna get your concealer. I just literally just dip the brush into the concealer like that. And then you're gonna go underneath the eyebrow first. So using the angled brush, you're gonna just start making a line underneath your eyebrow just to carve it out. So follow the line of what you've drawn, or follow the line of your natural eyebrow, and it should make sense. You don't need too much concealer because when we jump to the eye section, you're gonna use more. So my eyebrows aren't done, they're not threaded. I've got a lot of like loose hairs and stuff underneath, but with the concealer you can cover quite a lot of that. So I've done the underneath. Now for the on top, so what I'll do is I'll get the concealer I use for underneath my eyebrows and I'll mix in with the concealer slightly darker. I face my brush like this, so the angle side is like that. So the longer side is the side that's carving out my eyebrow. So I start in the beginning, just like little strokes while I'm carving it out. And then when I get to the end, I just literally pull down to finish off that tail section. So then I literally get the concealer that's on the other side, put it above it like this. So that's one eyebrow done. I'm gonna do the other eyebrow, then I'm literally gonna come back and we're just gonna move on. Okay, so eyebrows are done. Next step for me is eyes. With eyes, it all starts the same for me. I always prime my eyes. So I'm gonna use LA Girl Pro Conceal in Fawn. The reason I'm using a shade that's this much lighter is because with eyeshadows, I think they show up so much better when the concealer underneath is a lot lighter. Literally, if you watch all of my makeup videos, I literally do the same every time I do my eyeshadow. So this isn't anything new. The palette I'm gonna be using is the Makeup Revolution X Tammy palette. Whenever you're starting eyeshadows, always start with your base color, crease color, right? Crease color should be quite tonal and quite muted. And I find crease colors help blend the brighter colors in a bit more. I'm gonna take this brown right here. And what I start by is just putting it up here in the crease area. I'm just gonna pick a brush that's got no shadows on it, and I'm just gonna go above the shadow I've placed just to blend it into the brow concealer. So I'm gonna take this pink shade right here. So dip into the pink shade and I'm gonna use that color all over my crease. So what I do first is pat and get the colour before I start to swipe, and then just blend it upwards into the brown that we put in the beginning. So I'm gonna do the other side. Okay, so I'm gonna go into quite a bronzy colour, and I'm just gonna put that colour just kind of all over the bottom quite softly. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go back with the brush I use for the pinks and just go above it and just do like a light sweep just to blend that in. Next is in the eyes is mascara. Always do shadows first before mascara. Go from underneath. And then the same on the other side. Guys, to apply your lashes, weave bond. My friends get at me so, or the friends that don't agree with it get at me so much because they don't understand that weave bond. Like, guys, this stuff will have your lashes stuck on, as in the lashes don't budge. Yours are lifting and mine aren't. Okay, so I use my tweezers. I put my tweezers at an angle like this. Grab hold of the lash in the middle. When you're applying your lashes again, look downwards. So I'm going to look downwards. I'm going to close my eye. I'm going to attach the lash just in the middle. Then I'm going to use my fingers to press down the corners. Like so. Okay, next we're gonna prime. Priming is so important. I've got two primers which I love. So one is aloe vera gel, and you can get this from, I got this one from Holland & Barrett, and then Benefit Professional Primer. Let me see just to get that in properly. Okay, next step for me is foundation. I'm using NYX's Can't Stop Won't Stop in the shade Deep Ebony. So gonna put a pump on one cheek. I'm just gonna spread that over. Oh, now my foundation is blended. I'm gonna go in with the concealer I used to carve out my eyebrows the first time. I like to build up my concealers, so I start with one that's closer to my foundation shade and then move up in brightness. I also try to stick to undertoner concealers that's similar to my face undertone in the beginning. Then if I go lighter, sometimes I might switch to a cooler, like more yellow tone undertone concealer. It's literally up to you. So I'm gonna go again with dark cocoa and just under my eyes. I'm just gonna put some here. So for the first concealer you use, I recommend using a concealer that is, I think, maybe 2 shades lighter than what your foundation is. Because I feel like that's a good starting point. I'm also gonna just, you know, line where my brow is and just fill up this space just above it. So yeah, I recommend 2 shades lighter than what your foundation is as a starting point. Then obviously when you're going lighter, you're venturing further away from what your foundation shade is. Beauty blender, when you're blending your foundation, your concealer, actually whichever, be it foundation or concealer, pat, don't swipe. If you swipe, so if you're doing a motion like this, you're gonna move the product underneath. You're gonna move your foundation, it will look patchy. So pat in like really quick motions and then just move the blender around. If you're patting and moving, it will give a better blend than literally swiping across your face. Also try to blend in your nose a little bit, not too much. And as I don't have an eyeliner, I'm just gonna blend a little bit into my eyes. Concealer number 1, I think I'm gonna do 2 concealers today. So I'm gonna use not LA Girl, L'Oreal True Match in Mahogany. Also look up to stop creasing underneath your eyes. When it comes to the face, everything else is quite quick. So when you're blending your concealers, just make sure you've got an even blend. Look around if there's anything else that needs blending. After I've done all my highlights, I put the 2 concealers on, I'm gonna contour. So to contour, I use Makeup Revolution C18. Where I put the concealer is where I've highlighted under my cheek. So you can kind of make out a natural cheekbone line. So one line goes there. And on the same side, on the other side, another line. Just gonna get a little bit more. On my forehead, so I put it on this corner here, this corner here. Just gonna pull this back a little bit. And then across the top, I'm gonna put a line. And then when it comes to my nose, I'm just gonna put a dot on this side of my nose and on that side of my nose. Just like tap it on the flat side. And then I'm gonna get a little bit here in the arch of where my nose kind of goes to my eyebrow. So literally just get a brush, and with your contour, what you want to do is you want to blend your contour first into the skin, and then I like to pull it downwards a little bit, like so. And then when I've nearly finished blending, I just like to drag it upwards a little bit into my highlight and to the side of my face. So the same on this side. Just blending regularly first in the downwards direction. First, I blend the bit that's on my nose. So by just pulling downwards. Then the bit that's on my eyebrow, I blend it just into the eyebrow, just a little bit here. And then the same on the other side, blend that downwards into your nose. And then here, into the eyebrow. My next step is to set my face. So to set my face, obviously powders, this is like the powder section. So I'm gonna use NYX's Can't Stop Won't Stop in the shade Banana. I'm gonna dip like my beauty blender into the powder. I'm gonna shake away the beauty blender just to get rid of excess powder. Then I'm gonna start with under my eyes. So I'm gonna press under my eyes like this and just press the powder into my skin. So what you may be thinking now is the powder for what I've put on is very, very yellow, but don't worry about that because it's going to fix itself once I put my face powder on, because obviously my face powder is closer to my actual skin tone. Any loose powder I'm gonna put just under my nose area. I'm gonna get a little bit more and just do the bridge of my nose where that highlighting powder is. That one I leave because I like that bridge of my nose to be a bit more on, you know, the defined side. So then just literally my forehead area. And I feel like when you highlight in the correct places, it really does, you know, bring out all the contouring that you did and the warming up of your skin. My next step is to powder contour. So I use the Kiko Milano Smart Color eyeshadow. It's like a dark brown. This one is a bit on the cool tone side. I personally like using, if not this one, in the Jaclyn Hill palette, there is a brown that I like using. It's a bit warmer. Also, if you do have contour shades on the cooler side and you want to warm yourself up, bronzing is the best thing that you could possibly do. So I'm literally getting a brush into this little eyeshadow that I'm going to use for my contour. It's like a contour brush, and then what you're gonna do is kind of like swipe over. Just swipe over. It doesn't have to be too heavy, but just swipe over the contour the cream contour that you put in earlier. And then what I do is I like to bring it up to my forehead and just do the corners. This is all in like the setting step with your powders. And on the side of where my bake is, just lightly brush this color on. When I say lightly, I mean quite lightly. I'm not a massive fan of, you know, really harsh nose contours, but just tread lightly and just try as much as you can, go either side of the bake. Then under the contour on this side, the same banana powder, just gonna drag here. And then obviously as you do on one side, you're gonna do the same thing on the other side. So what that does is that exaggerates the contour line that you put in, because I don't like putting concealer under my cheeks. I think certain parts of your face should stay with just foundation. I think that's one of the parts. So I think the powder kind of does that highlighting job for you. You're just gonna get a clean brush and just swipe away the powder. What you may find is that you're left with a line. Don't worry, like we're literally about to fix that. So just swipe away all the excess powder from under your eyes. So yeah, what I'm gonna do as my next step is I'm gonna use my face powder to basically get rid of some of the highlights. So my face powder color is NW58. I use the MAC Studio Fix powder. So get a color that is obviously the same shade as your skin tone, so like one that's close to your foundation, because what that will do, that will cancel out any ashiness. So first of all, it's gonna help me cancel out the ashiness under my cheeks. And then I'm gonna use it a little bit just to swipe over the area, and then just brush a little bit over my forehead. Okay, so that is my powder step done. An easy way, and this is literally what I tell everyone, if you're kind of stuck on blush colors, an easy thing to do is use one of the eyeshadow colors that you used earlier in your makeup. So just get the pink on the brush, shake the brush a little bit, and what you're gonna do is apply it above your contour shade, right? Don't worry about how much you apply. If you apply what you deem as a little bit too much, just get the powder brush you use to powder your shade all over your face and just swipe off any excess that you don't want. And you're gonna bring it up as well. My next step is, now I've done all my powders and everything, is to set it all on my face. Urban Decay All Nighter, Holy Grail. This is one of the ones that I genuinely do recommend, as well as MAC's Fix Plus, as well NYX. So they have a matte finish and a dewy finish. I finished the dewy finish one. I need to get another one. The matte one is also nearly finished. What I do is I go in with my Urban Decay All Nighter first. Just give it a little bit of a shake. Close your eyes and spray. Put that on all over my face. So, quick tip, right? If you think your looks are a bit too powdery, you really want your makeup to stay on your face, get your beauty blender, whatever you wanna call it, the sponge, the bottom of your sponge on the flat side, press the setting spray into your face. Like, this step for me, game changer. As in, it really does help my makeup to stay for longer on my face. I am going to highlight. Highlighting is a really, really, really important step. A lot of the time it can make or break your face if you use the wrong shade highlight, something that doesn't necessarily work for what you've done. So, quick tip. when it comes to highlighters, look at what you've done currently on your face. Look at the color schemes that you've got. I've gone for like the pinky bronzy type highlight, so I'm gonna stick to that theme when I'm highlighting my face. I'm gonna go into this pink highlight right here, and where I'm gonna put that highlight is above where I applied my blush, and lightly I'm just gonna put that pink here. In terms of nose highlight, just get the point of the brush. So for nose highlights, I don't like them to be on the pinky side. I like them to be quite gold bronzy. So just tap lightly in the middle of your nose. Obviously in between where you know, contoured, so that will just bring out the nose a little bit. Every time after I highlight, I just get a brush and brush away the excess. Under the eyebrow, just a little bit. Yeah, the last and final step you're going to do is lips. Okay, so you're just gonna get a lip liner. So I've got Max Chestnut. So, when it comes to lining your lips, there seems to be, so obviously the current trend now is to overline. When it comes to overlining, I have quite like a deep Cupid's bow, and sometimes I do like that to show through. So I won't always overline like too much, but when it comes to the bottom of my lip, I will just a little. What I'm gonna do next is apply a little bit of a pink liquid lipstick. So that's gonna kind of go with the pink that I've put in my eyes, and I'm just gonna cover it with a gloss. So a little bit of this pink. As you can see, it's very pink. So this is Matte Me by Sleek in the shade Shabby Chick. Then I'm going to get NYX's Butter Gloss in Ginger Snap, just to go over, because sometimes I don't like it to be too pink. So yeah, this is the final look. I tried to keep it as simple as I possibly could, and I tried to explain all the steps as much as I possibly could. Please be sure to like, comment and subscribe. I went through a lot just to film this video. If you know, you know. But please like, comment and subscribe. Let me know how you guys are doing. Just, you know, talk to me in the comments. It's been a while since I've uploaded a video, but your girl's back for a little bit before I disappear again. But yeah, I definitely will see you guys next time on my channel. Bye.